Okay, to make the pom-poms, I have yarn. You're going to need some yarn here. So I just have regular crochet yarn. You need something to make a circle. So I just have this plastic cup here. And so mine is about 3 inches in diameter. Yeah, maybe like 3 1/4. So you decide how big you want your circle for your pom-pom. So like I said, mine is about 3 inches in diameter. And then you need to make another circle inside of this circle once you draw it. And so I'm just using 1/4 for that. I have a pencil, and then I have fabric scissors to cut the yarn with. And then I'm also gonna grab just some regular little craft scissors that I can cut this cardboard with. So what you wanna start out with, you need to cut 2 circles of your bigger circle. So however big you want that, you need 2 of those. There's one, and then I'll just draw another one. Then you want to take your 1/4 or whatever you're using for your smaller circle. It's going to go right in the middle. And I'm just going to estimate it and look at it and say, that looks about the middle to me. Okay, so your smaller circle needs to go just in the middle of your larger circle. And then we'll end up cutting that smaller circle out. Okay. This. And then with circles, it helps if you turn your paper, turn what you're cutting versus turning your hand. So just keep your hand in the same place and turn whatever it is you're cutting. Okay, and then we're going to need an opening here, so I'm just going to cut up to here. Just kind of go across, and then I can start cutting out my inside circle. And if it rips a little bit, don't worry about it. I actually probably need some smaller scissors for this, but I don't have them handy right now, so I'm just going to use this. Okay, and then I'll open this up a little bit more, so maybe I'm having, say, a 1/2 inch opening here, because we need to be able to feed the yarn through there. So here's one, and I'm just going to use this one as my template for the circle for the other one. So my inside circle should be about like this, and I want my opening here. Then just cut out your second circle. It's easier if you move the circle versus moving your hand to try to cut it. And then I just want to go up to this opening here, and I'm going to cut out this circle, the smaller circle that's inside. That looks about right. Okay, so I have my 2 cardboard cutouts. I have my fabric scissors at this point because I'll need it to cut the yarn once we're done. And then I've cut myself a string of yarn that's probably about 12 inches long. Once we wrap the yarn around it, we're gonna tie it with this. You're gonna start about here. Just be mindful of your edge here. Make sure you are far enough away from this edge so that you don't slip off. Let me line it up. So I'm going to stay far enough away so that I don't, as I'm looping it, I don't end up going off that edge. And all you're going to do is just continue to wrap it around. And you want to do it fairly loosely so that it's easier for you to cut. You know, the more yarn you wrap, the fluffier your pom-pom. But you know, you don't want it. It's a fine balance. You don't want it too big to where it's too hard for you to kind of cut and tie it all together. But I am going fairly fluffy with this, as you can see. And I'm just keeping an eye on my end here to make sure I don't slide off of my cardboard. Okay, I'm at the end. So I'll cut it, and it's really just an estimate. I know I probably used about, you know, I have my yarn doubled, so I used in total probably about 8 yards of yarn. I had a length of 4 yards and I doubled it because I want it to be really fluffy. So now here comes the tricky part. What you have to do, you want to hold on to this part so that it doesn't slip off, and you need to get your scissors through in between these 2 cardboard pieces, and you're going to be cutting your yarn here. So just kind of hold on to it here at the bottom so that it doesn't come off, and cut your yarn. If you just take your time, it's a lot easier. So I'm looking just to make sure I get back through my cardboard here, because that's where I'm cutting. So now with that extra piece we cut, you want to open up your cardboard, and you need to put this string through those 2 pieces of cardboard, because that's how we're going to tie it together. So still hold it. Okay, and you're pulling it up between, and this part you do want really tight. So I'm just going to go back around. So I'm just going to pull this so that it's nice and tight, and then I'll tie it. Okay, and now I can remove my cardboard pieces. Then here is your completed pom-pom. And you can see I'm off a little bit here. Maybe I'll just trim it a little bit. This one, this is going to be a bunny's tail, so I won't worry about it being all perfect, because nothing in nature is perfect, right? And so you can see we're using about, what, 8 yards of my yarn here. This is what you get. And I'm thinking I could probably, if I wanted this fluffier, what I would probably do is open up this yarn to make it fluffier. So what I'll do is cut off these longer ends here. Go ahead and do that. And then this would be what I would sew onto my pillow as the bunny tail.